We we are live now, but we'll just wait for a few minutes, for people to call in. So we are just sort of getting ready. We're going to share something interesting. Hopefully, this is Stephen from SCI Malaysia. Getting ready for our regular SCI Peace Chat. I heard a few of them. Sounds very interesting. So I hope today, right, the presentation will be interesting enough to you. The local time is 8:53. That's local in Malaysia, so we still got about 6 7 minutes to more or less get ourselves on. And I hope everything is set up ready. Thanks to Esther from the IS group. She is the one who helps to coordinate and set up all this kind of logistic. And we did a test this afternoon. It looks to be okay. And let's hope it is okay. And I hope I'm slow enough. I'm given 15 minutes to talk, 50 years of experience. So it'll be quite interesting how I'm going to put that 15 minutes into it. I told Wilbert, that making a thing short and interesting is just like a mini skirt. It should be short to cover all the essential and long enough to cover all the points. And I hope within those uh, 15, 20 minutes, it depends. And of course, if you ask me some question, and if I can share, I'll be most happy to share. To start with, right, I'm just an ordinary person, an ordinary Malaysian Chinese. Malaysia is quite a unique place. We have many kind of races right over here, and we live in harmony. So it'd be a good place to come for a work camp. I was looking at one of those past photos that we had of a work camp that we had 8 years ago. You got people coming from Switzerland, Italy, Belarus, Poland, Japan. It was a very good work camp. They really get to see Malaysia. So since this is haven't started yet, so I'm taking this opportunity to advertise and promote Malaysia as one of your destination of choice for work camp. We try to organize minimum one, but at least two. Hopefully, in the near future, we can organize three a work camp. One of the work camp is organized around a August period, whereby we have the peace run in Penang. The other one is pretty flexible. It could be beginning of the year, end of the year, or middle of the year. So we try to have two. And our camp is a little bit different. This year we have planned for a peace caravan. It'll be quite interesting, but unfortunately, due to the COVID, we have to cancel. Okay. And there was two camps that we planned for. One is a peace caravan. The other was a Penang peace run and coincide with that. Right. Hey, thank you. It's me. Ismi has come to this place before. She brought her mother here, and we had a great sharing. We have also visited her right at her place in Surabaya. Surabaya. Eh, So it was nice right, to see you. Right, we still got another 2 more minutes. Eh. Malaysia is still under a lockdown, but we call that a recovery. So things are almost back to normal, but we are advised to wear face masks and follow the social distancing. Okay, and we are not allowed to have a big assembly, and work camp and so forth are a little bit restrictive. Okay, and there's a quarantine period for people coming from overseas. And we are only limiting to people who have businesses here. So we got 1 more minute, and then I will start my sharing with you. Hi, thanks, Ed. If you can hear, there's an azan call for prayer. In Malaysia, we have a prayer time for the Muslim. So you may hear that the distant call for people to pray. Okay, it is 9 o'clock Malaysian time, 3 o'clock for those are the people in Europe. My name is Stephen Na. I'm late 60s, almost 70s. I have the pleasure of being with SCI for the last 50 years. So we thought it'd be interesting for me to share with you how did I remain in SCI for the last 50 years. Whereas many people come and go, many people got burned out. And so how did I survive? Okay. So I would break it down into three parts of my presentation. First part, I will share with you the three phrase, no, the five phrases, okay, the five phrases or decade, right, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, uh, 20,000, 20,000, and 10. So there are different five phases which happen right with the environment and also right happens like more or less like, to myself personally. Uh, so let me share on this environment. We will find that the last 50 years is one of the most interesting a period of history. There are so many kind of changes. Okay? For once, you find that travels in the 60s was basically by the ship. So many of our volunteers has when they come over to Malaysia, they take a ship and take them almost a month, right? If they come from UK or so forth, eh? And in the 70s, right, we begin to have a plane. But in between, we have a train, which is a slow train. Right? and of course the rail and the car slows. Okay. So you find that this has made a significant change into volunteering and also to life. Then, in terms of communication, okay, last time when we call people, we must dial. Okay. Then, right, we find that we have this big auto, a big phone which had to carry with big battery. Then the thing progressed, and now we have handphone and a PC to go through. And if you look at the development in the 1970s when I first started work, okay, and first joined SCI, there was hardly any PC around. In the 80s, Apple came, and then many of the other uh, competitors came along. Okay, so now everybody is communicating through that. So there's a major change in which how we reach out to our volunteers, to people. And trends, we also see the trends changes quite a lot. Now, many of you in the newer generation don't know what's a dance. When we say we do the twist, you don't know what's a twist. But we do the cha-cha, twist, rumble, and those were the no the kind of dances that we have. And in the early 70s, we have a lot of parties. People like to get together. And our trousers, our fashion was having a bell bottom, and the girls wear mini skirt. And now things has changed. Okay? Changed so much so that now in a lot of places whereby the Islamizations has also come into play. The people have to wear tudungs and then they wear the hijab. And now this year we have a major change. We have this social distancing. We have to go about wearing face masks and then cannot hug each other. All this kind of thing changes. So the trend changes. And what will it be? We really do not know. And you look at the social economic, things also have changed. Okay. During our okay, earlier time, right? What we have is there's a communist state, okay, communist, and the other part is a democracy. So there was some kind of a differences or battles in between, and we have war, we have fights, we have a lot of distrust, okay, and politically, that was creating a lot of big divide. Right? And then now you look at it, there was in the 80s, 90s, there was a big the kind of Islamizations, kind of influence that comes from the Middle East. Okay, so now we even have a different kind of thing we call the Black Life Matter. Okay, so so things changes. And SCI has gone through all these phases and make the adjustment along the kind of changes and so forth. And the other thing is communication. eh. During the earlier time in the 70s, when we first involved in this SCI, when we write application, we write letters. Then after that we post. It takes about a week to reach the other end. Even though they reply immediately, it takes another week to come here. So it'll be 2 weeks before we decide what to do. And if we change any kind of thing, again it takes a long period of time. Now things are so different. Okay, you could write everything text itself and so forth. Okay, so this is the background of the kind of social environmental changes that I've gone through. Okay, which is very interesting. And what's going to be ahead, I really do not know. But the last 50 years has been very fast, very dynamic, and very significant change. Now, on my side also, I gone through changes. The first change is in the 70s, I was a bachelor, just came out from college, and just started work. And I was fortunate enough to work in a semiconductor, which was one of the growth industry at the point of time, something new. And then from there, Penang in particular, grew up to be a what called the Silicon Island. There's a log which says that there are problem playing this video. Mm-hmm. I do not know. Hmm. The video got cut, eh? Hmm. You can see me. Uh, I do not know because over here I can't see myself, eh? But yeah. Okay, I will continue, right? To speak as though the thing is on, even though I can't see myself, eh? Yeah. Even though I can't see myself inside the screen. Eh? Okay. Right. So that was like the kind of situation I was in the 70s. Then in the 80s, in the 70s, late 70s, I moved to KL. Okay, uh, because I wanted to study and a change of career. And so in the 70s, right, I was still a bachelor, okay, and but very much focused, right, in my studies and so forth, study and work, work, and in the 90s, and in the 90s, I begin to take up courses to further my own career. And at the same time, I have a family, okay, and and then with the children, career, and work, it was a quite an exciting time inside my place. By the time I reached 90, eh, late 90s, I was in the kind of a peak of my career and managed to remain there. I mean, even though I work in quite a big organization, there's always a certain amount of certain hierarchy you can go away. So I was quite happy where I was, and I stay on there and continue. And in the 20s, I more or less, in the later part of 20s, I sort of retired and therefore can spend more time, right, with SCI. Okay? And currently, I'm something like semi-retired, spend a balanced time, right, with a part-time job as advisory, and then as a grandparenting, and quite a fair bit of time with SCI. Okay. Now, what during this period of time, what about the SCI? So in the 70s, whereby I have my first camp in the 1970, uh, at a place called a place for the mentally retarded. We had a camp, and in the camp we have people from Japan, India, Pakistan. I'm not sure Pakistan, like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Europe. So, so it was a very good camp. So during that period of time, I had the first experience of interacting with so many people, okay, of different kind of culture, race, and so forth. It was a very nice experience. Okay? It was a very nice experience. Wait, because I'm trying to see whether I can see my face because currently I can't see my own face, but I'll just continue, okay? Knowing that it's 12 minutes already. Uh, then, what what we did was we had the first work camp, and the first work camp is always very important. We always emphasize to people, when you have a camp, make sure that the first work camp is something very, very impressionable. Then, right, I came back to work in Penang and helped to form our first Penang chapter in 1973, and I was the secretary. And 2 years later, unfortunately, our president passed away, and at 3 years old, 24 years old, had to take over the president kind of job and so forth. And we continue eh, for another few years before I go to Penang, before I go down to KL. In KL, what I did was the first couple of years, I we don't have anything, but whenever Penang has any activity, I would make a point to come back and support them and join, take part in the activities. But in the 80s, eh, there was a development in Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur is not what it is now. Now it's so many tall buildings, but during the Kuala Lumpur, during that time, it was full of squatters. So one of the projects in which we did was to focus on the not on the not on the squatters at a place called Suntu, whereby we have a play center, and then we have a nursery home, and then the children from the community would come. Okay, would come, and they would participate in the activities like drawing and all the other kind of things and so forth. But at the same time also, we started another project. One of our LTV, Xu Luan, they started organic farm. In fact, she also attended she also attended a one SCI organic camp in Japan, and from there she learned the basic of it and loved it. So when she came back to Malaysia, she said, help to promote this organic farm. We really appreciate her because she spent 10 years in the farm, day and night. And this is also the opportunity for SCI. We had several work camp in her farm, help her to clear up the place, help her to learn, help her to set up the farm and get it started. And now in Malaysia, she is somewhat like an authority in terms of organic farming. Okay. That is in the no, in the 80s. In the 90s, okay, in the 90s, what we just want to, in the 90s, okay, we begin to work with different groups of people. One of the group was the disabled group. Okay, they call Kiaku, and we help them to organize family days. We help them to do the kind of logistics and so forth. Okay, so that was one of the activities. And in the 90s or so, we begin to have more time, and we begin to organize international work camp for the people. Okay. Uh, then in the 20s, okay, we again organize two major kind of activities. Okay, beside the work camp, we also organize the Malindo Unity Swim, and also the International Day of Peace. Okay. So this was the other kind of activities in which we get the people. Now in Malaysia, it's very interesting. In 1969, just before the 70 I joined, we had a racial riot. And since then, there was a lot of conflict among the people, concern of a polarization between the different races. So our work camp is also a very good way in which to bring the people together. And our activities, the Malindo swim, plus the other activities, has its own impact of bringing the people together. Okay. And so these are the kind of phrases of things in which we were involved in, and how I also got myself involved inside it. Now, the second part of my discussion is basically like to share with you two activities in which we organize, and then and then how it also gave some kind of association with SCI in Malaysia. The first one was the Malindo Unity Swim. It was a swim organized in the 19 organized 13 or 14 years ago. Okay. Just yeah, organized like now. It is a very interesting like event because the person who organized it was one person we sent for an exchange program through SF to Vietnam. So he went there, he likes it, he enjoys it. So when he came back, he said, since SCI has given me the opportunity to travel and see, let me do something for SCI. Well, SCI then and even now, we always have a very kind of a low budget. We don't have much funding. So he said, come, let's organize a fundraising event. And we said, okay, good. We were in Hari Raya, like get together. So he said, what plan do you have? Let's organize a swim from Malaysia to Indonesia and back. Oh, that's strange. We know he is a good swimmer, but to get the people to swim from Malaysia to Indonesia, and there is a distance. There's a strait of a strait of sea that's in between us. But we said, come, let's give a go. So we started to plan, getting all writing papers, getting information, getting all the details, and we submit that applications to the Ministry of National Unity because we wanted to bring the people together for this particular kind of project. But the minister sat on it. Eh, we discussed that in I think in late November and December, January, February, March. We kept on following up. Then somewhere around May, eh, uh, we got a call. He said, "Hey, the minister said, okay, please go ahead with your swim. They will support us. Support us." Now, what happened is when we planned for this swim to go to that place there, it's not easy. We have to take account of the tide, the flow, the moon, and many, many factors. So we have already locked down on a date. That's on the 9th of June. So in less than 30 days, okay, we managed to organize these whole activities, okay, which involve so many, many people. We must get the logistic, must get the marine of ours and Indonesia, must get the embassy involved, then get the police, then get the security, then get the swimmers. Then we try to get the swimmers consisting of all the different races together. Then we must get the boatman. This is the first time I learned what is GPS because in traveling to the sea, and we are using those normal fisherman boat to take us to and fro. Incidentally, the distance between these two places is 90 kilometer or 53 nautical mile. Okay? And but in any way, this is another kind of a story. How we have all the kind of challenges, because up to the night before, we discovered that one of the fishermen doesn't have the visa or passport to go to Indonesia. So it's a lot of things. But eventually, we got it done, and all of us in three boat, 23 swimmers, and about 30 of us, we went. Eh, from Port Dickson. There's the nearest point of Malaysia to Indonesia, and we swam. We swam by relay. That means that one person swim, and before he come out, another person must go in, and he continue to swim for about 100 or to 200 meters. Then the next person will come. It's not easy swimming in the sea, but we did. We did a right swim, reached the other end, and came back. Okay. So there was one of the successful project. Incidentally, we did not raise much money or any money at all, but neither we did lose any money because the many thing was covered. But we did not use opportunity to ask for people sponsor us for every kilometer we swim. Please donate RM1 or $1 for it, because the timing was too short for us to organize the activity. So that was one of the activity which we successfully organized, and now whenever we meet, it's still a very memorable one. The second activity in which we had was the International Day of Peace. For the last 14 years, SCI is one of the main the initiator and pusher for this International Day of Peace, which is always on September the 21st. Okay? So on this day, we start from Kuala Lumpur, whereby we take the group of us after prayers and then together. And then sometimes for the 14 years, we have a variety of activities. Okay? So those activities will include a peace convoy. Okay? We had a peace convoy whereby we move from Kuala Lumpur, then we stop at Taiping. Now, as a central place. And you ask why Taiping? Taiping is unique. It is a town 200 kilometers from here. And it's a town, Taiping, Tuning, literally means a town of everlasting peace. So the people, the municipality and the people there are very, very, very gung ho, right? They're very passionate in organizing peace activities. So each time, whenever the peace convoy reaches the place there, they will welcome us, and then they will have tea, and then we will have visit some kind of touristic historical place. Then they tell us a history, how this history has brought the people together. So this is one of those things. Then we would have a dinner, a peace dinner, and the next day we will have what called activities. We have a cycle for peace because Taiping is a unique town. It's quite flat. So up to now, the residents like to cycle instead of traveling by cars and so forth. They cycle to school, they cycle to market. So it's quite a unique town. So cycling is a very popular sport inside the place there. Then we up to now we still have that cycle for peace, and at the same time we also have organized several occasions, a march, a walk, a peace walk through the town with the music, with drum, with band, just to create the awareness, bringing the people together. So these are some of those activities in which we have, and including like planting a peace pole. Okay? So normally we start from a peace pole to the peace pole as a one of those kind of symbolic. Peace pole is another kind of activities which we have tried to help to promote as one of these monument for peace. Okay? So these are the two activities in which we had. Then the third part, which I would like to discuss, how do we manage or how do I manage to sustain these years? One of which is must believe in the cause. Okay, so I joined SCI because I believe in the cause. So whichever kind of activities or organization you belongs to, as long as you believe the cause, okay, and the values in it and support it, and that will help to drive you through. So I believe in the SCI cause for non-violence, human rights, volunteering, empowerment, sustainable environment, corporations. And those are the kind of values I wish I cherish. Okay. So believing in the cause is one thing, and up to now, the cause is still very pertinent and very valid to me. And the second thing, I managed to stay for all this period of time is I manage my time. Within our group also, we know we are volunteers. So if we are volunteers, then we cannot spend all our time. We cannot spend all our time on this volunteering or community work. Okay? So we must allocate it and fit it into our annual leave and also our other kind of periods of time and so forth. So, so within our SCI, a group, we normally allocate, like for example, the which day, right, of the week, right, of the month we have a meeting, and then which day we have some community work, and which day, right, we have like events. So we also have our event calendar planned out, so we can manage ourselves for the Earth Day, for the International Day of Peace, and other activities. The other thing that it helped me to sustain is that, as I mentioned, I'm a bachelor, I got married, got children, is I engage my family inside it as well. So we are open. Okay? There's no kind of age limit. We're open. So because we are open, right, therefore, right, my family, right, can join as well. Otherwise, I work from Monday to Friday. Then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm involved in this activity again. I don't have time with my family. But our SCI activities are very wholesome. It is something like meaningful, so we can engage our people inside. Now, the other aspect is within SCI, we learn how to respect one another. Now, this is one of those things which I learned. And all the years I've been engaged in SCI, I have many people whom I learn from them. Okay? And their kind of social behavior, their art of managing things and so forth. And as I learn from them, it helps to mold or modify my characters as well. Okay? So, learning how to respect one another is something which I learned a lot from SCI. Now, SCI one is belief is non-violence. So we don't shout, we don't bang table, we don't push, we don't fight. If we got anything, we talk. Sometimes some of the SCI meeting could be very long, eh, because we we like to share our things and so forth. Okay, so this is the other aspect about SCI. Now, this in itself is a benefit to me because it has helped me to be a more rational, patient person, and indirectly, it has helped me in my relationship with people, and indirectly helped me in my own career in the organization in which I work in. So for this, I'm very grateful for SCI. The other thing is I stay in SCI, but you ask me what position do I have in SCI? Actually, I got no position. Okay. I started as a secretary, the president of a Penang group. Then after I came here, I started as a president. But after I think about 4 or 5 years, I relinquished the place. Then since then, I have hold no position. There are other presidents inside the place, but I'm always there to support them. Okay? So position to me is not important. What is more important is okay, how much time, how much contribution, how could I help? Okay. So in giving, I find that I really enjoy. I see the people happy, and sometimes I give wrong advice, but we learn through it. So the SCI is one also which try to preach what they call similar platform. Now, I've spoken a little bit too long, so I will just try to cover up. The other thing is trying to keep a balance. Okay, try to keep a balance in my life. Okay, for my career. Okay, and because my career, I've been a pretty okay. Right. So I managed to also have some saving. So now I'm a somewhat semi-retired. So I could use the kind of saving to assist me. So financially, it's good, right? That you can have some kind of independence. And the other thing is, I try to balance time between my own ex-colleagues because beside SCI, I also have many other network of friends. Okay? the spiritual group, the social groups, my ex-colleagues. So among this group, I try to like keep, and also my old classmate. So I keep in close contact with them. Okay. And I also spend a lot of time to take care of my own health. Okay. Now I have to, right, because my grandfather died at 55, my father at 65. So I have passed. I exceeded my father, my grandfather. I hope to live to 75 and beyond. So health is important. So keeping all this sort of thing. So I have taken almost uh, mm, mm, uh, almost a half an hour of the time with you. So these are basically what I like to share with you. So I do not know whether the thing is working or not because over here my video is not working. And if you got any kind of question, feel free to ask me. And I hope we are still connected. If not, you have it another time. I'll just repeat. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for your time. Hmm. Now I would check and see because I'm. Oh yeah, let me see. Yeah, let's get started. Oh yeah, there are some kind of comment. Uh, Hmm. Okay, Ismi say curious to know what event and how did you find SCI at first place? That's an interesting thing. In 1970, after I finished my high school, I was going to Singapore for an interview. So I was in a train, and in the train I met one man opposite. All the whole while he was writing. So being alone and then he alone, so I get to talk to him. And then he happens to be the Asian secretary, Navam Apudure. And he talked to me about SCI. I thought it was very interesting. And that's how he got me involved in the camp. So after my interview in there, I came back. eh, eh, so the right so that's how I got started in the first work camp. He invited me to attend that. Hmm. Okay, that's a first question. I hope he answer yours. It's me. Okay, glad you all can see me because I couldn't see myself. eh. Now, over in SCI, actually, there's a lot of people I have to be very thankful for. People like Bali Sasan, I wish I get reconnected with her. She was such a wonderful mentor. Then, Isabel, who was our secretary. Then, Ingrid. Then I really love working with Goshka. And there's a Tom Rider who came to Malaysia, and we get ourselves connected in. Right? Hmm. I just going through. So there's a Sarah from Finland, Wilbert. Yeah, Wilbert. That's right. Right up to the 80s, we still have lost quarters. But now you hardly find any. And that's a good in terms of a development plan that we had. Ismi asked, were there a lot of locals that join inside our work camp? Uh, Not really many, because one of the constraints about work camp is that it's 10 days. So many people, 10 days to 14 days. So many people find some difficulty. So we managed to get some people just left school or some retiree. And for the working people, it's very difficult to participate in work camp because of the length of time. However, we managed to get the people, and we always tell the international participants when they come, please understand this is Malaysian context, but we will have people who come for 3 4 days, then they say goodbye, they go, and another will come 3 4 days, goodbye and go. So we had the kind of activities that is going on. That's how we managed to do that. So Esther asks, in your experience, what is the main challenges you think the workcamp have to uh, face today? Uh, when you say today, I assume you are talking about because of the COVID, because of the social distancing, and one of the challenges that we have now is travel. But I attended a discussion yesterday in several of the countries in Europe. They are able to travel within their own area, so it was quite okay, right? But in Malaysia, right, we are a little bit restrictive here. But I found that wait, so what we could do is that I think slowly we could open up it for people to have the work camp. But the other opportunity is a virtual work camp. A virtual work camp, which is something new, which we can see. We also asked what are some of the virtual work camp which we can have? Okay? We can have a work camp between 2 days to probably about a week or so forth, whereby people will meet at a certain time. Okay? And they do some kind of agreed kind of social work, community work at where they are. Then they come and share their kind of experiences and so forth via internet. Okay. The other thing is that we can have particularly those kind of local work camp among ourselves, okay, which is still okay because we can get a different community to come. And when the thing is open up to our neighboring countries, then we can make an offer for the people to come. Okay. Uh, Edward asked a good question. What do you think of the volunteering scenes these days? Have the volunteer motivation changed? Mm, well, if you could remember eh, what I share, how the scenario has changed eh, during those old days, whereby we don't have internet, whereby everybody can play out inside the fields, getting together, they love parties, social. And but now the kind of sometimes there's always some kind of restraint, and more people are on the kind of internet. Uh, but the population is growing. There is still people eh, who I'd like to provide the kind of services. eh. Uh, there is still, and if you speak to many people, they will have also share with you that servicing or volunteering is a very, very special contribution which a person can give. Recently, there was a multi-millionaire who passed away, and as he looked back, he said, "I wish I could have done more kind of services, more hands-on kind of things, and so forth." So, if you look around, if we can provide people with the necessary opportunity, a necessary kind of motivations, and get their feedback how to organize certain kind of things which they can enjoy. Important thing is they must at the end of it enjoy. Okay? And one of the things which I like to share with you, I enjoy all my years is I live with photography. I take a lot of photographs, okay, over the years. I don't know how many camera I have and spoil, but I take a lot of photographs, and I like to compile them into a photo story. But before I make that into a story, what I do a lot of editing. All those not so nice one, I delete. So I keep only all those nice, like beautiful. So very often, whenever there is this photo shoot, they always ask people, could you smile? Could you do this? Could you do that? A lot of people just when you look at this picture, I mean, it doesn't give you the kind of excitement. So I always ask the people, hey, smile and do something. Okay? So when they have different kind of actions and so forth, then you find that the photograph is lively. And when the thing is lively, and when you look at it 1 year, 2 years, 10 years later, you get very excited. Just like as I was saying earlier, I was looking at the work camp that we had in Taiping. It's such an exciting kind of thing. We went to eat durian, kampong, we swim, we went to caves, oh, we dance. It's nice when we look back. Okay? But there was some not so nice one which we delete. Okay? So photography has also helped me to enhance these kind of activities. Now it is already like 52 minutes. If you don't mind, I'll just continue a little bit. Let me see. Oh, there's so many kind of a program. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going from the bottom. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of people enjoy my story. Oh, Joanne said that there's a terrible echo right in my connection. Yeah, I'm sorry. Mhm. uh, so so the question: did you take a short break, shorter or longer from SCI in the 50? I did take some break for my study, okay, because in the 90s, 80 something, 88, okay, around like in my late 20s, I find that in order for you to advance in your career, if you just have a high school certificate, it's not enough. So I did some diploma studies, and then after that, I went for my MBA. It like all the weekends and so forth. So so I did take, but during that time, I did not hold any kind of official position, and I did not do any traveling. So most of the time, the weekend, right, is studies. Okay, so break in the sense that actively, right, break, but always there for them. Okay. So I'm always there with them. Mm. Okay, so those are some of those question that we have. Okay, those are the main question that we have. So it is well over right an hour. So I like to thank you all right for your time. Very sorry, John. I don't know. Oh, okay. Is it the echo is gone now? Okay, John asked it. How do you see SCI in 25 years from now? Uh, that is a very tough question. Hmm. I think what our values is still very relevant. They try to promote right peace. They try to promote voluntarism. Try to engage the people right with people, bringing the people together. Okay? And but uh, so it's still very relevant. Okay? And maybe at a certain amount of these virtual virtual, right, a work camp is something that may be very appropriate. They may be appropriate. Okay? But at the same time, the physical work camp still, right, still, still is relevant. Okay? Because that's one of the nicest thing, to get the people together, dance together, and so forth. Right. Okay, right. I think it's almost 1 hour. Thank you, right, for staying with me. And if you got any kind of question, right, always, right, send to me. At the same time, I have a Flickr, a Flickr photographs. You can see some of the photographs in which we have. And for those who have been to Malaysia, you may be surprised to see your photographs over there. I mean, Malaysia and with SCI activities. And I'm Facebook. You can always chat with me. I'm uh, I'm always there. So once again, I'd like to thank my family. My wife has been very supportive, and so is my children, and also, right, my colleagues. I have a boss, right, that has been very supportive, right, inside our program. And even though my current, right, boss, right, Dato Tony, right, he and his company, like, every year give some sponsorship. So, right, it's good. Okay, I have a lot of people to thank to, and thank to all of you, and thank, right, to the SCI KL and Penang team for being together with me, and together, let's make it fun. Important thing is to make it fun. Okay? So if a volunteering or any kind of activities, you can have it fun, then it will still attracts the people, right, to us. So with that, I said thank you to all of you. Now the other thing is, uh, this was the work camp. This was the International Day of Peace. Okay, last year. You see, we had already the SCI logo, which we have to celebrate that. And yeah, SCI managed to get the sponsors to help them. So we work a lot in collaboration with people. We cannot work together. Okay, for us to go forward, we actually have to work, right, with people. Okay, because peace is not only yourself, but also, right, reaching out to others. So once again, thank you all. I I really appreciate you for taking time to be with me. Bye.